Before the App Store was a household name, before your phone screen was a single sheet of glass, there was a device that defined power. It wasn't just in your pocket. It lived in your hand. It was the Blackberry. At its peak, research in motion controlled nearly 50% of the US smartphone market. Today, that share is zero. How did the world's most secure, most desired device become a relic of the past? Our story begins not in Silicon Valley, but in Waterloo, Ontario. In 1984, in a small office above a bagel shop, two engineering students, Mike Lazaridis and Douglas Fregin, started a company called Research in Motion, or RIM. They weren't trying to build a phone. They were obsessed with solving the problem of wireless data. Their first major breakthrough wasn't a screen you could touch. It was the interactive pager 950. This little device introduced a revolutionary idea: always on, always connected. While other pagers just received messages, the 950 could send them too. The secret sauce was the Mobitex network. It was designed for sending tiny, efficient packets of data, not large files or voice calls. Our IM mastered this technology. They figured out how to squeeze incredible battery life out of their devices because the pager only woke up for a split second to check for new data. This efficiency became the foundation of everything that followed. Then the 2000s arrived, and the 2000s belonged to the thumb. With the launch of the 6000 and 7000 series, RIM finally integrated a phone into their powerful pager. Suddenly, you had email, a calendar, a web browser, and a phone all in one device that could last for days. The physical QWERTY keyboard was an absolute game changer. You could type out long emails with astonishing speed and accuracy. But the real killer app, the feature that created a cultural phenomenon, was BBM Blackberry Messenger. It was an exclusive, encrypted chat service just for Blackberry users. It was instant, it was secure, and it had those magical little letters, D for delivered and R for read. BBM was the original social network for the elite, and the culture followed. You saw Blackberries in the hands of everyone from Kim Kardashian and Paris Hilton to business tycoons and political leaders. It was a status symbol. For a generation of professionals, if you didn't have that red blinking notification light on your nightstand, you just weren't in the room. That subtle pulse meant you were important, you were connected, you were needed. The sound of that tactile keyboard clicking away became the soundtrack of productivity. So, why did governments, the Pentagon, and Wall Street cling to their Blackberries for so long, even as flashier devices emerged? The answer is one word: security. RIM built a digital fortress. They owned the servers, they wrote the software, and they built the hardware. It was a completely closed loop. Your email didn't just go from your device to the recipient. It was routed through BlackBerry's own highly secure Network Operations Center, or NOC. This end-to-end encryption was something no one else could touch. Compared to the competition in 2006, it was no contest. While Palm and Nokia devices required you to manually sync your email, BlackBerry pushed it to you instantly. While they offered basic security, BlackBerry offered a fortress. And while they were stuck with awkward T9 keypads or flimsy styluses, BlackBerry had the undisputed king, the physical QWERTY keyboard. Then came January 9, 2007. Steve Jobs walked onto a stage and announced the iPhone. Side by side, the difference was stark. The BlackBerry Curve was a tool for work packed with buttons. The iPhone was a sleek, beautiful piece of glass. It was an entertainment device, a portal to the full internet, not a stripped-down version. And how did RIM's leadership react? They laughed publicly. They called the iPhone a toy with terrible battery life that would cripple the network. They truly believed that no serious professional would ever give up the tactile feel of a physical keyboard for a smudge-prone touchscreen. It was, without a doubt, the most expensive miscalculation in the history of technology. The pressure mounted, and RIM scrambled to respond. Their answer was the Blackberry Storm, the company's first attempt at a full touchscreen phone. It was a disaster. Instead of copying Apple's revolutionary capacitive screen, RIM created a strange hybrid. The entire screen was a single, clickable button. You had to press down hard on the glass to register a tap. It was buggy, it was unintuitive, and it alienated their loyal user base while failing to attract new ones. The Storm was the first major crack in the BlackBerry fortress. By the time BlackBerry 10 finally launched in 2013, it was too late. The world had moved on. The app gap was no longer a gap, it was a canyon. The most popular apps that defined the new mobile era, Instagram, Uber, Snapchat, Netflix, weren't coming to BlackBerry. The platform was seen as a ghost town. The company tried one last Hail Mary by pivoting to Android hardware with devices like the BlackBerry Priv, which featured a slide-out keyboard. It was an interesting device, but it arrived years too late. The brand had lost its magic, and the market had already chosen its winners. But here's the twist. BlackBerry didn't really die, it evolved. The company made a brilliant and difficult choice. It let go of the hardware business that made it famous and doubled down on its original strength, software and security. Today, you will find BlackBerry's QNX software running critical systems in over 200 million vehicles, including many of the most advanced electric cars on the road. You'll find their cybersecurity protocols protecting the data of global banks and government agencies. The hardware is gone, but the DNA of secure, reliable mobile communication remains, quietly powering the background of our modern world. The story of BlackBerry is a powerful lesson. It taught us that in the fast-moving world of technology, your greatest strength, your core identity, can become your greatest weakness if you refuse to let it go. The very things that made BlackBerry dominant, the keyboard and the closed security system, ultimately became the anchors that held it back. Did you ever own a BlackBerry? Do you miss the click? Let us know your favorite model in the comments. Thanks for watching.